Hello, Merry Christmas. As a famous unknown mental illness writer, comedian, actor, disc jockey of the Hebrew King Solomon wisdom, of songs, of King Dad David Psalms, and Bathsheba blues. Rock on. You know, I'm normally abnormal trying to act normal, whereas if you didn't like my act, all I could do is quit my acting and be my normally abnormal self. Oh yes, quit your acting, boy. You're not acting right. Learn to be real. Oh, so you want me to act really real for you, do you? What if I'm not really real? It's a reality attack. The normals are coming. Everyone run, hide. No, wait, it's too late. There's no time. Let's put on our sky disguises and see how long we can act normal for normal before normal realizes that we have mental illnesses, and then we have to feel and deal with their stigma, you know, and how they don't realize that they have a problem with that kind of thinking. And then in the dark ages of mental illness, we were recommended not to have relationships with other mental illnesses due to all of the possibilities of contradiction, science fiction, irreconcilable differences of opinions, heated debates, anger, rage, reality arguments, you know, from all of our mental illness personality conflicts. Well, oh boy, do I ever feel like I was ever so very lucky to have ever found a conversational relationship with anyone, anywhere, anytime, due to our broken brain disability, inability to become equality, conformity, acceptance to someone else's conformity, acceptance, fear of being cast out of their free society reality travesty, where I'm still asking, why should I mind being cast out of such a travesty? You know, really, I can be best understood this as those who walk with God, you know, walk out of step with the world, as we are not of the world yet in it. We are not of the flesh yet in it. As I asked the Spirit how old I was one day, and they say, pick a number. You know, so I picked 13 trillion light years old. And for those 13 trillion years as Peter Pan to heaven, you know, I had an absence of knowledge of evil. Until one day, the end of 59, flying by Earth, I overheard a conversation, discussion of the wrath of God, and went to ask Dad for one of this human being, common folk joke lore, more eternal spiritual life forms, you know, to try to figure this out. And I had no idea I was going to have to go through a forget-me ceremony and learn how to be human. As by the time I started remembering, I have no idea where those people had gone off to. But I sure do miss my absence of knowledge of evil. But, you know, figure the more I see of it, the better my memories get of a life without it. As much as I miss my childhood curiosity that guided my information collections, knowledge accumulations, as in the more I learned, the less there was to be curious about. As to where I found the best values in the use of a free gift of an imagination, you know, and pretending to feel like I didn't know original discoveries or my thoughts to make our best expressions of them, and, you know, sharing them with others, where a good teacher always remains a good student, for one day a good teacher will teach the good student all they know, and then when the good student has learned all the good teacher has to teach and comes up with an idea that the teacher had never thought of before, the teacher had become a student again to the student who had become the teacher. In my testimony, I'm not here to describe all of my iniquities in detail. It is only a part of me telling my story. You know, on my second acting trip in 1977, a couple of hits of Pink Microdot. After listening to the four sides of This Is the Moody Blues 4 times in a Carl Jung synchronicity, I turned on the radio and caught the very beginning of The Outlaws, Green Grass and High Tides, ending with the radio minister coming on expressing the importance of asking Jesus into your heart, or else he couldn't enter. And I was wondering why nobody ever told me this before. I just wondered, you know, but he expresses to only do this if you really believe in Jesus. And if you did do it, to do it now, you know, well, I did. You might say my life has been a trip ever since. Well, then you had the next morning about to tell 5 friends, we're all talking about a TV show the night before, mocking the people who had godly experiences on drugs. You know, that led me to refraining from expressing my experience. It's not like when I was having trouble with multiple voices inside of my head. I asked God for help, and I suddenly had only one, you know, one voice, you know. But Then I had to figure out the difference between a good spirit and a bad spirit, where a good spirit will give you free advice and a bad spirit will tell you what to do. Where I learned a great deal the hard way from not taking the free advice or doing what I was told. As you need to understand in my late teens, fear and the full truth of the Bible, with it having been written by man, where they said it was easy enough that even a child could learn it, that I asked God to teach me as if I couldn't read. And from there, I learned to read as signs from life, where then again in my early 30s, when I did start reading it from the beginning, I reached a point where I asked God, what can you teach me that I cannot learn from the Bible? Where I reached a point of spiritual, emotional wisdom comprehension as to why I often feel like my sky gifts are more like human ignorance curses, feeling what others don't know how to feel, seeing what they don't know because of it, and usually what they have coming out of their mouth is only proving it to me. As we can share no more of our heart's emotions with our heart than they know how to feel, to receive, and is willing to share in return, where we cannot share any of our heart's emotions with another heart that has hardened their heart to ours. No, we imagine when they gave me a throne in heaven, we threw it away and said, let's go play. As we are a reluctant leader who follows the people that we lead, that should you try to follow us faster than we can follow you, and you find yourself following yourself, this is because we have followed you faster than you can follow us, being a reluctant leader who follows the people we lead, we claim to be. Again, we didn't choose to be chosen. It's chosen, it's chosen. However, in our freedom of choice, we could choose not to be chosen, but then we'd be out of our eternal job that really doesn't pay much, yet honestly believe that we feel real sky-free, compassionately, passionately, sensitively, tenderly, lovingly, caringly, sharingly, givingly, forgivingly. Sky quality, equality-wise, the free, eternal, spiritual, silver, pure, strong art, magnetism, personal sky, truth, serenity, wisdom, emotional rewards, comprehension, from sincerely loving God through Jesus, provides an awesome, peaceful time, passing bliss that you will miss wherever, whenever, however you harden your heart, that only shuts off your Trinity communications. You can't even feel the spirit of your own soul's goal, as we often discovered that our sky gifts feel more like human ignorance courses, and how we can feel what others don't know how to feel, see what they don't know because of it, and usually lacking the comprehension of what they have coming out of their mouth is only proving it redundantly. As our heart cannot share any more of our heart's emotions, and another heart knows how to receive and is willing to share in return. And we cannot share any of our heart's emotions with a heart that has hardened their heart to ours. So have a Merry Christmas.